Welcome back to our ongoing how-to series. In this video, we will cover the Forescout Arista integration that allows customers to rapidly establish zero trust segmentation. The need for digital transformation has resulted in many flat, interconnected networks to support the rapid growth of cyber assets across an organization's digital terrain. The inherent vulnerabilities of these networks and the inability to dynamically adjust security controls puts organizations at risk for widespread threat propagation with damaging consequences. As organizations move to adopt zero trust security practices, progress is often limited due to complicated deployments and costly business disruptions. Arista and Forescout have joined forces to provide an integrated solution that helps you boost network performance while reducing network administration through the delivery of dynamic network segmentation. The partnership enables you to rapidly enforce zero trust practices and support innovation without being locked into a single vendor's ecosystem. It can help you by providing for enterprise-wide segmentation from a single point of management, to rapidly deploy zero trust principles with granular segmentation across all network domains, reduce your overall attack surface and minimize the blast radius of threats or incidents, simplify security and network management, unify endpoint and network compliance enforcement at enterprise scale, and lastly, increase operational efficiency and effectiveness. So let's take a look at how this works. First, we install the Arista plugin like we do any other plugin on the Forescout platform. Take note, you must have iSegment version 403 or above configured and running. And you need to refer to the Arista documentation for the list of MSSG switches and CloudVision versions that support this iSegment integration. Next, we'll configure the MSSG plugin. First, we'll enter the CloudVision server IP address and the CloudVision server port. Next, we'll enter the CloudVision token. These authentication tokens are generated by the CloudVision portal. For information about generating these authentication tokens, refer to the CloudVision configuration guide. And optionally, we can select the Allow all traffic unless an exported iSegment rule denies it. This option is not selected by default. If the option is not selected, the behavior is that the Arista MSSG will block all traffic except where, first, the source and destination IP addresses are not members of any segment ID, and second, an iSegment policy rule exported to the Arista MSSG explicitly allows traffic between the source and the destination segment IDs. Once configured, we'll just hit the test button to ensure that everything is working properly. And here we have a successful test, so we're ready to go. Endpoints can be assigned to the proper MSSG segment ID either manually or using a policy. For the purpose of this demo, let's assign 2 endpoints manually, and then we'll have a look at how we might do that automatically in a policy. So I have 2 endpoints, a cloud database server, and its IP address is 1034.564. So let's put that in to filter down to that endpoint. I can now manually assign this endpoint to the proper Arista segment ID. I'll select Arista MSSG and assign Arista segment ID. When I do this, you have a drop-down option that shows you the segment IDs that are available, and we want to assign this one to the cloud database and hit OK. Once we've done that, we can hover over the actions and see that it was a success. So now we can expect that to be in the CVP. Next, I'm going to assign my .63 endpoint to the Office Printer segment, doing the same procedure. And we can see that was a success. Now we can switch to our CloudVision portal. We'll go to Devices, Network Segmentation, and Subnet Match List. Here I can enter the IP address, and we can see that that one is now in the cloud database segment. And we'll look at number 63 and we can see that it is now in the Office Printers segment. This validates that we were able to send them from the Forescout platform to the Arista MSSG and successfully add those endpoints to the proper segments. Now we'll switch back to the Forescout platform and have a look at how we might do this automatically in policy. So I'll select policy, we'll add a new policy. In this case, I'll just use a custom policy. We'll give it some sort of a name. In this case, we'll say add printers to MSSG segment. We'll hit next. I'm going to go for all IPs. And my main rule, I'm going to look for printers. So I'm going to get member of group, and I'm going to look for printers. So anyone that's in Office Printers, we'll take that one. And now we'll create a sub rule, and we'll call that add to Arista segment. And our action is the key, because now we can select Arista MSSG, Arista assigned to segment, and then we can select the Office Printers segment ID and apply that in policy. Pretty simple, but very powerful. To summarize, any device that's classified as an Office printer by the Forescout platform will now be assigned to the Arista segment ID for Office printer. Here we are looking at the iSegment matrix. And the goal is going to be to create a policy that allows traffic between the Office printers and the cloud database, the two segment IDs we just assigned to our demo endpoints. Note that you would have previously created your Forescout iSite groups and segments with the same names as your Arista segment IDs. Across the top you can see we have our destinations. So we have destinations of Office printers and cloud database, the two segments we just assigned, and we also have sources for cloud database and Office printers. We'll find the intersection point between Office printer and our cloud database. At that point we can come and create a zero trust rule to allow all. Now we can see that the rule was successfully added, and we can actually view the rule. And you can see that Office printers to cloud database will allow all traffic. Let's go back to the matrix. We need to allow a rule to go in the other direction if we want them to communicate. Now we'll go to the cloud database source. We want to allow it to talk to Office printers, so we'll create a zero trust rule to allow all there as well. Now we see the rule is added successfully. We can certainly view that as well. And now we'll go to the policy view, and you can see that both of these zero trust rules are in place. Now in order to get them to the MSSG, we'll select both of these rules, and we simply hit export to Arista MSSG. And we can see the policy rules were successfully exported. Now if we flip over to the Arista CVP and we go to policies, we can validate that those two rules are now in place. I'm now connected to my Office printer device. This is within the Office printer segment. And I'm going to issue a ping to .64, which was in our cloud database segment. And right now, based on the policies that we have in place, that traffic should be flowing, and we can see that it is. But in reality, we may not want our Office printers talking to our cloud database. So what we can do is edit these rules, and instead of allow, we'll make them deny and save. And we can see it's been successfully updated. I'll do that with the other one as well. Make it deny and save. Again, successfully updated. And now we're ready to export those to the Arista MSSG platform. And now the policy rules have been exported. So to validate that occurred, we'll flip over to the CVP again and select policies. And now we see rules that say drop all traffic in both directions. And to further validate, we'll hop back onto our Office printer and we'll try that ping again. And this time, with the policy in place blocking all traffic through the MSSG, that ping is unsuccessful. So in summary, first we assigned our endpoints to the correct MSSG segment manually, but most likely you would do this in policy. We created iSegment Zero Trust policy rules, and we simply exported those into the Arista MSSG. We were able to validate that both our endpoints and our policy rules were visible on the CloudVision platform, and we showed how traffic was easily allowed or blocked between segments on the Arista MSSG. I hope you enjoyed this video and will join us for many more. Any questions you may have on this topic can be directed to your Forescout sales team.